everyone, thanks again for tuning into Zin's workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So today we're going to be talking about A Spindle Splintered. This is by Alex Ihara. If you remember, she wrote Once and Future Witches, which I cannot recommend that book enough. If you read anything by her, read Once and Future Witches. But you know, then there's this book, and I absolutely did love this book. It's really short. It's a really short, quick, simple read, 128 pages. And they don't have, oh, they do have his quote here. Great. I think Mike Chen does say it best when he says, like Into the Spider-Verse for Disney princesses. 100%. Yes, 100%. The story follows Zinnia Gray, and it's approaching her 21st birthday, which for her is the time when her, heart is supposed to stop. She's projected to die by age 21. Because of that, she has been obsessed with the story of Sleeping Beauty. I think she says it perfectly right here. Sleeping Beauty is nobody's favorite. Romantic girls like Beauty and the Beast. Vanilla girls like Cinderella. Goth girls like Snow White. Only dying girls like Sleeping Beauty. Because if you think about it, Sleeping Beauty itself is kind of, they're all dark. If you look at the original fairy tales, they're dark. But one of the things that is really kind of troublesome about Sleeping Beauty is she has 2 kids before she ever wakes up. So Prince finds her. She has 2 kids, then wakes up when her baby is sucking on her finger and, sucks the splinter out of her finger. Yeah, that's disturbing. Let's face it. It's disturbing. But fairy tales, they were a product of their time, let's face it. It doesn't make it better, but I think you can take them apart, you can analyze them, and that's exactly what Hero does in this really short, sweet novel. Zinnia Gray, she's obsessed with Sleeping Beauty, and on her 21st birthday, her friend gets her a spindle, just for shits and giggles. She gets her a spindle so she can prick her finger, just because she knows it's her favorite fairy tale, right? And she does. And then zap! All of a sudden, she is zapped into Sleeping Beauty. Or a version of it, rather. And it's great. And it's amazing. And I love it. I love it so much. There she meets a princess. A fairy tale princess. And it's really, really quite beautiful. How it's just short and sweet. I know I keep saying that, but it really takes that fairy tale of Sleeping Beauty and it turns it on its head, and it reimagines it, and it takes it apart, and it subverts the sexism that is so in there. And again, product of their time. Doesn't mean I love them any less. I have the whole Grimm fairy tale collection, but yes, very much a product of their time. Their lessons, right? To women to be proper, and among other things, there are a bunch of other lessons. But she takes those fairy tale tropes, she takes them apart, and she reorganizes them, and disassembles them, and puts them back in, and it's just so amazing how she does it. A good writer, in my opinion, can say so much with so little, and that's why I really liked this book. Because there's so much in here worth analyzing. Oh God, I hope my fairy tale professor at Emerson knows about this book and makes it required reading, because oh my God, yes, please. Man, really wish I could go back in college just so I could take that class, just so I could discuss this book. There's so much I want to say. There's so much to unpack. There's lots of feminism, there's lots of LGBTQ representation in here as well. Zinnia is bi. Her best friend is a lesbian. And let's see. it's just, I wanted to look for the quote of how she just describes her best friend, but it doesn't matter. They are kind of amazing, you know. Haro is amazing at just the way she is able to capture the love between these two characters, and they're friends. You know, she captures the love, and she highlights how unfair it is to live in a fairy tale, especially when Zinnia and her princess go and meet the dark fairy, right? Who cursed her. And you really see, like, wow, you were trying to do her a favor. You are not the villain. Okay, good to know. And when you understand why she did what she did, you're just like, oh, I get it. I totally get it. 100% I get it. She was trying to save her. She was trying to save her. And it's just so well done. I love a story that can grip you right from the beginning. Right from the beginning. Especially with that first line. Sleeping Beauty is pretty much the worst fairy tale any way you slice it. It's a fairy tale that feminist scholars cite when they want to talk about women's passivity in historical narratives. She literally sleeps through her own climax. I mean, wow, it's really good. You know, I'm here, I'm talking, and I just really want to reread the story because it was really good. It was well written. It's concise, it's imaginative, especially when Haro introduces this multiverse. You get to see at least 3 other versions of the same fairy tale, but brought to life in incredibly different ways. And that's what makes it so imaginative. It makes me want more of the stories. Like, I want to read that story. I want to read that one too. And that one. And you're just like, wow, there's so many ways a fairy tale can be reimagined. There are so many ways that it can be dismantled and retold in a way that, you know, it can be romantic. 100% it can be romantic. But it doesn't have to take away the female autonomy. You know, it can give women the respect they deserve without just making them, oh yeah, I'm going to have birth twice before I ever wake up. I mean, let's face it, that's a little disturbing. It's disturbing. But I like how Haro has that feminist edge to the story without being open. Sometimes, I'm going to say this, I might get some hate. I do have a problem with feminist writing only because it takes away, I think, a little bit of the women, and it kind of puts them in this box. You know, you don't have to be that independent woman in order for you to be a feminist. You know what I mean? And I feel like literature sometimes has to put women in these boxes like, no, she can't have a man, she has to stand on her own, she has to go through blah, blah, blah in order to be a strong female character. Doesn't have to be that way. You know, it does not have to be that way. You can do a feminist story like this without putting your character into that box and fitting, that's like, those check marks. It's like, there are other ways to be a feminist than to just be all and man hating, you know? And I don't like that. I don't like the whole man hating thing. Don't get me wrong. Some men and some women, no one's perfect. And that's why I don't like it. That's why I don't like it. Because then it's just like, just don't do it. Don't spread the hate. You know, love, flower power here. I know I sound like a hippie, but I don't like those boxes. I don't like when characters are put into a box, when ideas are put into a box. There are other ways to express it. And I think Harrow does a really good job doing that, because Zinnia, I mean, she is a strong female character. Does she get a man in this book? No, but it's not really about that. It's about her own personal journey. She has to deal a lot with her own mortality. And what she wants more than anything is autonomy. Her life has been nothing but doctor visit after doctor visit after doctor visit. You know? So here, she's helping other women escape their own curses, to do with what they will, to live the way they want to live, to be happy and choose their happiness, you know, instead of falling into a box, you know? See what I did there? She wants them to speak up, to have voices. And for me, that is what a really feminist story is. It's about making sure the woman has a voice. Whether, you know, they can fight or stand on their own, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to want help. And she does get the help, and she offers the help to other characters. And it's just like, you know, I don't want you to be in a box. I don't want you to have to fall into these tropes just because you're in this story. And that's how she was living her life. She was living her life inside that box of, I'm a dying girl. That's all I am. It's like, no, you're more than that. You are more than that. The princess is more than just a princess, you know? The space warrior, the Valkyrie, they're more than what they are. They have names, they have identities, they have personality, and that's what's really good here. That's what makes the story so compelling. And for me, it's such a strong win, not just for the female community, but for the LGBTQ community, because it's giving them their autonomy. It's giving them their voice and their charisma, their personality, names, you know, identity. And I think that that's really, really important. And that's why I really love this book. Because look at that. It's so thin, but there's so much to talk about. So much. Ow, just hit myself in the face because I'm so excited. But there's so much to talk about. It's just, it's a spectacular book. You know, Harrow is so good. She says so much with so little. So much with so little. Am I unpacking it enough? You know, am I gushing about it enough? Am I saying, read this book for the love of God enough? And then there's also all these cute, okay, not cute, illustrations. It said something about the illustrations, and I forgot who did the illustrations. I really did forget who did the illustrations for this book. Many silhouetted illustrations by Arthur Rackman are set throughout this book. Ooh, they changed them. They changed those original illustrations. That's cool. But, you know, here you've got the spindles all burning, the original fairy tale. They're really well done. And they're sprinkled throughout the narrative, throughout the story. And it's really, really rather interesting to see them unfold and come alive. I didn't even think about finding the differences between the original artwork. Ooh, fun project to do later. In any case, you know what? This is a spectacular book. I'm going to give it 5 stars. It's just amazing. It's amazing. And it really is a multiverse for Disney princesses. I mean, literally, Mike Chen says it best. He says it best. If you're not familiar with Mike Chen, he is the author of Here and Now and Then. Excellent book. Really short read. Trust me, it will not be a waste of your time. And you will thank me later. So, on that note, once again, A Spindle Splintered gets 5 out of 5 stars. Please remember to purchase the book from your local bookseller, online book retailer, and if money is tight, check out the book from your local library. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and as always, mwah, happy reading.